Today I want to talk about how I feel as though school is way too structured. Looking back now at my public school education, I feel as though I was more of a case study than an individual learning to better themselves in the community. I definitely know that the school was set to help everyone to be a better citizen and provide them with the things they needed to succeed. But in some areas, I feel as though it was mainly just focused on who could remember what the best and if our test scores were better than last year or the school that we were competing against. And I kind of feel like that's not okay. The number one line that I always heard from the time I entered kindergarten until my senior year was that our goal was to graduate and get your high school diploma. That is definitely a great goal and something that everyone should work towards because our high school diploma is becoming more and more valuable every day. It's something that now has more meaning now than it did back then, and it's something great to have, a great achievement, and everyone should have that. But at the same time, I kind of see it as a starter goal. And what I mean as a starter goal, it gets you to start to thinking about what you want to do with the rest of your life. But what are we going to do with the rest of your life? What exactly do you want to do with the rest of your life that you see yourself being passionate enough about to do for the next 40 or 60 years? What is it that you want to do that is that valuable to you? Is it going to college or is it doing something else? Were those options given to each individual person? And I definitely don't think that it was. Coming from a small town, you were definitely told that the only way to make it out and be able to be a successful person was to go to college and get a degree in some field and go to work, enter the workforce like everyone else. But what about the kids with special needs? What about the kids that took SLP classes? What about the kids that just didn't get all of the help that they may have needed? Yes, entering through the public school system, they were giving paraprofessionals in classes. They were giving the extra help. They were giving extra time on the test. But going to college and entering into the regular real world, they're not going to have that extra hand. They're not going to have that paraprofessional. But were they given options or chances or treatment styles or something that would help them be able to be successful on their own and be able to contribute to their own lifestyle, to their families? Did they really give them the means and needs that it would take to make it in the real world? Looking back, I was always remembered what you needed to pass the test. That was the main goal. If you remembered enough information to pass the test, you were good. Think about it. You had to take unit tests or quizzes and, of course, tests in the graduation test. And if a student could not pass and fail those tests, if they did not remember enough of the information to pass the test according to what the state thought was well enough, then they were looked down upon. And once you're looked down upon, it hurts your self-esteem. You feel as though you have no purpose. If you're no longer able to graduate with your class, if you're no longer able to move to the next grade, then what do you feel the need to go to school? Because you've been told you will no longer be successful because you could not pass that test. And I feel like that's not okay, because a person that couldn't pass a test does not mean they're not going to be able to be successful. And it's really sad that the students are not being told that their ability to succeed and be successful in the workforce and in the real world is based off a test. It's definitely not okay, and it's definitely not true. You definitely have more people now in the world who are successful without having that college experience, without having some even not having a high school diploma, that are just as successful and have more money than I could have ever imagined having. And thinking back now, I feel as though the schools could have did more in preparing me to be ready for the real world. We were focused on the test, but what about the things that you told us would come from in college? As we know, we had to look forward to a heavier workload, but what about the other things that we really didn't get the grasp of or the need to do in high school that we would have needed to know in order to be successful? Plenty of days when having substitute teachers and things, we were watching videos of Bill Nye the Science Guy, or watching regular videos or little cartoon clips or anything else that they could find to entertain us. But now, sitting in college and experiencing it, I would have rather have learned things that would have been contributor to my success now. Like, I would have loved to learn how to balance a checkbook, or to pay a bill in multiple ways, write a check, or even be able to manage money, giving me managing money tips or ideas on how to save money as a first-year college student. I mean, this is definitely something that everyone can use, whether it will be getting a high school diploma, getting a college diploma, or just being able to depend and know that you will be able to make it the next day, that you will be able to provide for your family because you have been given the knowledge to do so. I mean, we should definitely be less focused on the students' needs and how they do on papers, and more focused on what they know overall and what they can do to be able to succeed.